The global financial system has officially entered the kill zone as we head into this Black Monday. And you need to understand that the $37 trillion debt nuke has just been detonated behind the scenes, leaving the Western monetary order in a state of terminal collapse. You are being told that the system is stable, but the data I've uncovered this weekend proves that the foundations of the US dollar are being incinerated in real time, while the mainstream media keeps your eyes glued to political theater. The physical reality is that the silver vaults at the COMEX have officially hit stage 0, meaning the exit door has been welded shut for 99% of the population who are still holding worthless digital receipts. This is not a drill. It is a calculated hard reset where the paper markets will be sacrificed to protect the institutional elite who have already retreated into their fortified vaults of hard assets. I want you to look directly at the US national debt clock, because that $37 trillion figure is the fuse that has finally reached the powder keg of the global economy. You've been watching the paper-silver price being smashed on the Friday close, but did you ask yourself why the largest dealers in America are effectively going offline just as the price drops? It's because the Great Deception is in its final act, and the banking cartels are trying to trick you into selling your generational wealth for pennies on the dollar, while they quietly vacuum up every physical ounce left in the system. If you do not have physical silver in your possession right now, you are essentially an unsecured creditor to a bankrupt banking system that views your savings as their last-ditch liquidity pool. Do you understand what it means when the registered silver inventory hits stage 0? It means the metal that is actually available for trade and delivery has vanished, leaving only eligible metal that is owned by private entities who have no intention of selling it back to the banks. You are part of a giant game of musical chairs where 500 people are fighting over one single chair, and the Black Monday opening bell is the music stopping for the final time. This is a national security crisis disguised as a technical failure, and the Federal Reserve is currently working overtime this weekend to prepare a force majeure declaration that will legally allow them to steal your metal and hand you a check for depreciated fiat currency. I have spent the last 12 hours dissecting the internal delivery notices from the LBMA that leaked over the weekend, and the evidence of a silent default is irrefutable. Large-scale industrial buyers in the AI and defense sectors are reportedly being told that their silver deliveries are being delayed indefinitely, which is the polite way of saying the vaults are functionally empty. You are witnessing a geopolitical raid on your national wealth, where the East is demanding physical settlement for every contract they hold, effectively draining the West of its strategic reserves while you are lulled into a false sense of security. The $225 price target I am warning you about is the only logical conclusion once the paper illusion finally shatters and the world returns to a silver-backed reality. I want you to ignore the official narratives and focus on the cold data. The vaults are empty, the dollar is dying, and the global silver supply has been shut down to the general public. You are witnessing the death rattles of a 50-year fiat experiment that has lost control of the physical world and is now trying to maintain order through psychological warfare and digital manipulation. The Great Deception is the belief that things will ever go back to normal, when in reality, the world has already moved on to a system where physical possession is the only law that counts for wealth preservation. If you are waiting for a confirmed signal from the mainstream news, you are already too late, because by then, the price of silver will be in the triple digits, and the dealers will be closed. Have you noticed how APMEX and SD bullion have started increasing premiums to 40% or 50% over spot, while the paper price remains suppressed? That is the physical market screaming at you that the digital price is a total lie, intended to lure you into a trap, while the institutions secure the last remaining bars for themselves. You are being led to the slaughterhouse of inflation, while the people who run the system are moving their personal wealth into deep storage, out of the reach of the very glitches they are preparing for you on Monday morning. This is your final call to recognize the signs of a failing American system and to position yourself on the right side of the greatest wealth transfer in human history. I am monitoring the arbitrage for you every hour, and the premium in Shanghai has reached a point where it is no longer profitable for the West to trade silver at these paper levels. This drain of your national wealth is being ignored by the U.S. Treasury because it reveals the total failure of their monetary policy and the end of the U.S. dollar's global dominance. When the vaults in London and New York are finally and officially empty, the price discovery will move permanently to the east, and you will be left holding paper in a world that only accepts physical reality. The Black Monday prep is about realizing that the rules of the game have changed and that the only thing that matters is what you can hold in your own hand. I want you to ask yourself, why are the central banks of the world hoarding gold and silver at the fastest pace in history while telling you that inflation is cooling? It's because they know the debt nuke is live, and they are building their own lifeboats while they lead you to the slaughterhouse of a currency reset. You are being tricked into staying in a paper prison while the elite move their wealth into hard assets that cannot be printed, hacked, or deleted by a government decree. Silver is the Achilles heel of the entire central banking system, and the Stage 0 inventory alert is your final exit sign before the exit doors are locked for the general public forever. Everything you see on the news today regarding the market recovery is a carefully choreographed distraction from the fact that the foundations of the Western monetary system are rotting away from the inside out. Silver is the only asset that represents a physical truth that they cannot manipulate once the vaults hit zero. And they are terrified that you will finally realize that the US dollar is in a terminal death spiral. The force majeure protocols are already being prepared in the boardrooms of the major exchanges, and the Black Monday script is ready to be deployed to blame the crash on anything other than the bank's own insolvency and debt. I am here to bring you the truth that the mainstream media is afraid to report, so you can stay one step ahead of the banking cartels and the elite news cycles. The $225 shock is just the beginning of a cycle that will see silver revalued as the primary global monetary asset once again as the fiat experiment ends in total failure. I will continue to track every ounce that leaves the vaults for you to keep you one step ahead of the corrupt banking cartels that want to see you broke and dependent. Stay alert, stay physical, and do not let the red candles on your trading app scare you away from the only asset that will protect you when the debt bomb finally detonates. Position yourself on the right side of history and do not fall for the final trap as the establishment attempts to manage the greatest wealth transfer in human history at your expense. The Stage 0 warning is the final signal. The vaults are empty, and the reset is officially here. Be ready, be physical, and stay strong in the face of the coming chaos. I am here to bring you the raw data that the establishment wants to suppress, so subscribe and stay tuned as we track the final collapse of the paper system together in real time. The $225 target is set, the supply is being shut down, and the only question remaining is whether you will be holding the metal or the bag when the system finally snaps shut. I want you to understand that the supply shutdown at major US dealers is the final smoke signal from a burning building, and the Black Monday warning is the fire alarm. You're being given one last chance to exit the fiat trap and enter the safety of hard assets before the ask price for silver disappears from the screens entirely. Don't wait for a confirmed signal from the people who lied to you about inflation being transitory, because by then, the price will be out of your reach and the vaults will be empty. Stay strong, stay physical, and do not let the Black Monday distraction steal your generational wealth during the greatest vertical price reset in history. Everything in the news right now is a distraction from the fact that the monetary order is rotting from the inside out, and the Stage 0 event is the final signal of the endgame for the US dollar. Silver is the only asset that they cannot print, hack, or delete by a government decree, making it your ultimate tool for financial rebellion against a system that wants to control your every move. The banking establishment is terrified of you because they know that once you realize the truth about the silver shortage, there will be a global stampede that will destroy their paper monopoly. Your only defense is to remove your wealth from the digital matrix before the banking cartels lock the door on physical delivery. Stage 0 is real, and the exposed truth is that the world's largest banks have already been bailed in through the strategic manipulation of precious metal prices at your direct expense. They are hoping you'll be too busy reading about political scandals to notice that they are taking the last of the physical bullion for themselves while you hold the bag of worthless digital zeros. Don't let the red candles on your trading app scare you away from the only asset that will survive the coming reset, because the banks are now long and waiting for the supply shut down to trigger the moonshot. The reset is not coming. It is already here, and the Black Monday event is the final signal before the door is locked forever. I want you to stay alert, stay physical, and remember that in a world of digital chaos, the only thing that matters is what you can hold in your own hand and protect with your own strength. The force majeure is no longer a legal theory. It is a mathematical inevitability that will reset the global financial clock and return the world to a system where physical backing is all that matters for trade. I am here to bring you the data that they want to suppress, so subscribe and stay tuned as we track the final collapse of the paper system together. The bailout is over, the dealers are empty, and the time to protect your wealth is right now before the deception is revealed. The $225 target is the inevitable conclusion of a system that has run out of time and metal to settle its debts in an honest manner, making a vertical price reset the only way to survive the collapse. Every time the banks print a new billion-dollar short contract to smash the price, they only add fuel to the eventual short squeeze that will propel silver into triple digits without a single warning. You're witnessing the final gasps of a dying monetary regime trying to maintain order through psychological warfare and artificial price suppression that is no longer working in the physical world. The great deception relies on your patience, but while you wait, the exit doors have been welded shut. I am monitoring the COMEX registered stocks for you every hour, and the data shows a massive, unprecedented internal transfer of metal intended to hide the total drain from your eyes. We are looking at a default in slow motion, where the plumbing of the financial system is clogged, and the only solution for the elite is to trick you into staying in paper until it's too late. Everything in the news right now is a distraction from the fact that the monetary order is rotting from the inside out, and the Stage 0 event is the final signal of the endgame. Silver is the only asset that they cannot print, hack, or delete, making it your ultimate tool for financial rebellion. Your only defense is to remove your wealth from the digital matrix before the banking cartels lock the door on physical delivery and the force majeure becomes the only law of the land. Stage 0 is real, and the exposed truth is that the world's largest banks have already been bailed in through the strategic manipulation of precious metal prices at your direct expense. They are hoping you will be too busy reading about hackers to notice that they are taking the last of the physical bullion for themselves. Don't let the red candles on your trading apps scare you away from the only asset that will survive the coming reset. The $225 shock is just the beginning of a cycle that will see silver revalued as the primary global monetary asset once again as the fiat experiment ends in total failure. I will continue to track every ounce that leaves the vaults for you to keep you one step ahead of the corrupt banking cartels that want to see you broke and dependent. The Black Monday event is the final confirmation that the silver trap has finally sprung shut, and the physical reality of scarcity is now the only story that matters for your financial future. Position yourself on the right side of history and do not fall for the final trap as the establishment attempts to manage the reset. Stay strong, stay physical, and do not let the Black Monday distraction or the fake recovery narrative steal your generational wealth during the greatest vertical price reset in the history of human civilization. The endgame has officially begun, and the Stage 0 inventory collapse is the first domino in a sequence that cannot be stopped by any central bank or any government decree. Prepare your family, secure your position, and hold your metal with a grip of iron, because the financial war has entered its most dangerous phase, and the reset is officially here. End of transmission for today.